What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Friday. Hopefully your weekend is off to a lovely start. Grab that happy hour beer. Let's talk a little about NBA basketball in the world of sports betting tonight. So I got a couple of picks I want to talk about, just really two little first quarter ones. I know you got something we want to get into. Before we get into the actual plays of the day, guys, as you know, we have partnered up over with the lovely people at Jazz Sports. If you would do us the favor and you want to give them a whirl, I would highly encourage it. They've been in business for a long time. They got some really solid rollovers. And the promotion from us to you guys today, if you take that plunge and make your actual deposit today as a first-time player and you use our promo code, as I mentioned on the public video for DFS, anybody who makes a legit $300 or plus deposit, we will get you free months and months and months of the DFS 5-pack. You just got to show me proof of that, send me a screenshot. All you got to do is click the join button, and when you go to sign up, down here in the promotional code, enter 5-pack. Also, I'll leave a link down there in the comment section as well. If you just want to click on that, that'll work as well. Just let me know if you sign up and make that deposit, and we'll get you all hooked up over here. They got some sweet rollovers and deposit matches there as well. Feel free to reference the 5-pack. They'll get you guys all taken care of. I'll go first today, Matt, only because I got my stuff pulled up, and then we'll move over to yours.
Sweet.
Okay. Both of mine come from the late night games, and they're both first quarter bets. So I mentioned this the other day. One of my favorite parts about the first quarter bets, or just a quarter in general, is that it's a sprint as opposed to a marathon. So they're very exciting. It's, not quite like watching the Kentucky Derby, but they're very, very quick and they're fun to watch. I got one over and one under I like, and the over comes from the Cavaliers against the Trailblazers. Your Cavs spent the last day or two kind of licking their wounds after being absolutely embarrassed against the Denver Nuggets. I think they make it a point to get the offense rolling a little bit earlier. I already mentioned how much I like Colin Sexton. We know that the defense in both of these games is not good. And from the Trailblazers side of things, they had an excellent first quarter yesterday. I've watched the Blazers have a lot of really, really good first quarters. I like the Blazers in the first and the fourth because Damian Lillard is by far their best offensive player, and he plays the full allotment of minutes in both of those quarters. So because they played last night, I think their best quarter today is going to be the first one. They're a little bit fresher into the world of offense, feeling good feeling good off the win last night before they get the tired legs as the game kind of progresses.
I like that call a lot. I see no reason not to like that, man. I do think that the Cavs come out with a kind of a revived energy here, and we know Portland can give it up. We know Cleveland can give it up. I could see each team having 35 points in the first quarter here.
Now, we know that the three-point shot is a little bit riskier of play, but that is kind of the NBA in general these days. Last night, the Blazers made 8 threes in the first quarter. I really liked the 76ers to cover the point and a half in the first quarter last night. Didn't come to fruition. But the Blazers were absolutely scorching hot. They could sling it. Gary Trent can shoot it. Dame can shoot it. And I just think your Cavs are going to come out inspired tonight. So I'm glad that you can find some agreement in this one. Also, I think we can both agree this is not a defensive-oriented game.
No, it is not.
All right, the next one up in the first quarter, another late game. I like the under in the Kings and the Magic game, which kind of surprises me because when I first looked at it and I saw the 55.5 point game total on this one, I thought, I'm like, do I like the over or the under on that? And my initial thought process was to go in the over, but then I looked into it a little bit further. Even on this late run that the Kings have been on right now, where they've been playing some really good basketball, they've had a lot of really slow starts to the game. I mean, game totals in the first one well under 50. They've now been off for a couple of days. They played a real hard game against Philadelphia the other day. But now they've been sitting there for 2 days. I could see them starting just a little bit slow in this one. The flip side of this is the Magic played a really tough game last night. Very competitive against the Warriors early on. Usually I like teams to play well to start the game. My other hesitation on the Magic playing well here is, one, they're either tired because they don't have a lot of bodies, or two, they get a bunch of new pieces back today and they don't have a lot of chemistry early in the game. So I like the under on this one.
For sure. I like that call a lot also. I think the number for me kind of does stand out a little bit. Like, why is it 3 points lower than the Cleveland-Portland game? I like the way you broke it down. I'm not a huge first quarter bettor, but I like it a lot.
All right. So I know you had a couple plays that you had kind of been thinking about in the back of your mind. What was it from that you were looking at today?
So my favorite play, we're going to go right back to that Cleveland-Portland game.
Okay. I
I
thought
like
we might be.
I like Cleveland a lot here, and this is a simple case of just the line really stands out. Portland is. I don't think anyone would argue that Portland is the much better team than Cleveland. I mean, a perennial playoff contender in the West, obviously the best player in this game by far. I know they're a little beat up, but they just beat Philly, a really good Philly team on national TV last night. The line in this game opened at 5. It's now all the way down to 3.5. The line is bizarre, and Vegas is basically begging people to take the Blazers here. And I'm going to go on the other side and take Cleveland. I think Cleveland's got a good shot to win this game, as you mentioned, coming off that stomping that at the hands of Denver. I think you do see them play a lot better here. And Portland is very Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. They play up to their competition as seen last night, and they also have a tendency to play down to their competition. I know that before this homestand, they lost to the Knicks at home. So I look at this as kind of a similar spot. I think that Cleveland is a very live underdog here, and I think you feel similarly.
Yeah, are you betting Cleveland to cover? You betting them to win, or a little mixture of both?
Little mixture of both.
Okay. How do you break it down normally when you make a bet like that? If you want to talk about it in units or whatever strategy you like to employ.
Usually like 2-1 or 3-1, like 2-1 on the spread to money line or 3-1 on the spread to money line.
Okay. I could definitely see Cleveland winning this game. I like the point that you brought up about how Portland plays down to their opponents. I also like teams just in general coming off embarrassing losses. And a couple days ago, Cleveland got embarrassed in Denver. Now we know Denver's the better team, so you're supposed to lose that game. But when you get embarrassed like that, there's definitely a little extra pep in the step for most teams the next day. And the flip side of that, the Trailblazers are legitimately looking at the clear opposite side of that, right? Like they beat a better team last night. Second time they beat Philly in a stretch of 8 days. Now they were hot, especially early, and that really helped them coast. But 3-pointers won't fall forever. And not every day Gary Trent's going to get multiple 3-pointers that bounce off the back rim, jump up, and then lane through the hoop. So I like the idea of Cleveland playing well here, and I kind of like the idea of them actually just winning this game straight up.
Yeah, I'm with you. So sweet. We see that eye to eye. It was between this game and the Milwaukee game. So both our teams in my top spot of the night.
Okay, what is it that you like about the Milwaukee game?
For me, it doesn't like I usually don't break it down like this, but when you have games like this, I just think Milwaukee is the slight better team, and this is a big game for them. They've lost a bunch of games to the upper echelon teams. I happen to think this is just a massive game for them, kind of a confidence-boosting game. Coming off a tough loss at Phoenix, Utah is, quite frankly, playing the best ball of anyone in the NBA. We saw them lose. The only game they've lost recently is when Denver got red hot, just outscored them and outplayed them early. I think you could see something similar from Milwaukee tonight. I like them a lot here. You mentioned that the Jazz rolled on them earlier in the year. Revenge tonight for Milwaukee.
I can get on board with that. It's hard for me to break that one down, being that I have an emotional kind of look into that game. So the Bucks had been playing really well up until the second half the other day against the Suns. And I think Nick Wright is a guy I heard say this the other day. People like to call things excuses, but reasons aren't excuses. Sometimes they're just reasons. Milwaukee got ice cold and the Suns got red hot. They lost by a point. It was a tough loss. You mentioned they've lost a bunch to upper echelon teams, a lot of really close games. This year alone, they lost on a Tatum walk-off on a bank 3. They lost to the Brooklyn Nets when Middleton's game winner rimmed out. Giannis just missed the walk-off the other day. I do view this as a real big game for them, and they've lost to Utah a couple times in recent memory. I don't know if they're going to win or not, but I feel very strongly knowing this Bucks team, they're going to give you a really good effort tonight. And if they lose, it's just because the Jazz are also really good.
No doubt about that.
So, okay. I think we see a lot of the games relatively similar today. I would encourage everybody to, if you are heavy in the sports betting world, take a look at Jazz. You saw our promo code right here. We'll get you some free memberships. Just reach out to me if you do sign up, and we will continue to talk about this stuff on a daily basis. Last note before we get off, I know you kind of expected the Thunder to get it handed to them tonight. But man, part of me is like looking at the odds I get on that one thinking, we just saw them play toe-to-toe with LA back-to-back games. I could see the Nuggets, who are only, 12-11 on the year, really playing down to their opponent right here as well.
I could see that. I have no interest in betting the Nuggets, but I could see them winning by like 30 here.
So could I. I think I'm just looking at the good odds on that one and trying to talk myself into it.
For sure. I'm with that.
I know you can understand that one.
No doubt.
Mr. Longshot himself over there, guys. So that's what we got for the day. Let's get after it. Let's have some fun, and good luck to everybody tonight.
Thanks, guys.